Colleen Carbonelli. If you have not seen any of the videos that I've done here before, or we are not already friends, I am an Emerald executive here at Globally. I have had a personal, hi Kristen, personal health journey that has been astounding to me personally. And I have talked about it here in the group a little bit here and there, but today I really wanted to share a little bit more about me and who I am and what this journey has meant for me personally. So I am one of 5 children. I'm right in the middle. I have 2 older sisters and 2 younger brothers. And I come from an Italian family. We are loud. We are, hey Courtney, hi Kristen, hi Sam. Oh, I'm so happy to see all of you. It's nice to see you guys. I am right in the middle. I am the bridge in our family, as middle children often are. Our family is big and louder than life, and there's a lot of eating and yelling and talking and eating. And a lot of celebration that is around food. And all of the women in my family, I would say, especially, have had food challenges over the years. For me, that challenge came in the form of I wasn't ever an athlete. So I was not a super active, I mean, I was when I was little, but I was, going into my high school years was never an athlete. I was, you look back when you're in your 40s or your 30s or whatever, wherever you are, and you say, oh my God, I wish I'd loved my body then. Because I look back and I realize, not only was I beautiful, I also wasn't heavy. I just thought that I was. And I remember feeling like I was always the bigger friend. I was the one who, when all the girls would get together and they would try on each other's clothes, that I couldn't trade with very many people. And that sat with me, for a long time. And I carried that with me. And I'm someone who always felt like I was very aware of that and aware of the difference. My friends never made me feel that way. I never was bullied. I don't have, thankfully, I don't have that trauma myself. But I know that it's very real, and I know that it is something that, there's a lot of bias against. But I was not a huge girl. I didn't struggle my whole life, but I did feel less than. And I can say that now as a 40-something woman who has really been overly aware of my weight. That's the best way to say that. I've been overly aware of my weight my whole life. I walk by a window and I look at the reflection, and I look at the reflection of other people with me, and I think, I'm the heaviest person walking here. I walk into a room at work and I scan the room, and I'm always aware that I feel like I'm the heaviest person in the room and that everyone looks at me. And it's just baggage that I have carried for a long, long time. And it led to a lot of disordered eating for me. I went through a period when I was a senior in high school of I hesitate to call it bulimia because I don't want to take away from folks who really, really struggle. But there was, a period of binging and purging. And I had some wonderful friends in my life who stood in with me and said, nope, this isn't who you are. And this isn't what you need. And we are here for you. And so I worked through, all of those things. But I did a lot of reading about eating disorders. And one of the things that I saw was that people often participate in eating disorders because they need to feel in control. I always just felt like I wanted to be thinner. I know that might sound shallow, but there are so many people who struggle with lots and lots of issues around food. And for me, it was shallow. I just wanted to look prettier. I wanted to look more like my friends. But that was a deep hurt that I carried with me for a long time. And so I tried lots and lots and lots of different things. I think, as we all do, as lots and lots of us do. I did Weight Watchers before my wedding and was very happy with the way that I looked, but didn't ever go looking for the perfect dress because I didn't feel like my body was perfect enough. And I'm seeing some of your comments, and thank you. And I appreciate so much that you are empathizing and being supportive. And I just am not addressing them all, but thank you. It means a lot to me. But I always felt like I was deprived. I always felt like I was distracted by food, and I couldn't quite wrap my brain around what life looked like without obsessing about food. And so when I dieted, I just obsessed more about food instead of less about food. And that was in my head, and that was a struggle. So when I was 30, I got pregnant with our twins, and I was so sick. Like I threw up 3 times the day before they were born. Like so sick. I gained only 27 pounds with twins. And after they were born, I was the thinnest I've been since high school. But unfortunately, it just reinforced that like disordered thinking around food, because guess what I had done to get there? Like grown some humans. They had eaten everything I put in my mouth, and also had vomited through that whole time. So it was just, there was so much disordered thinking around eating. And that continued to be a challenge for me for a long time. And of course, after the twins were born, life gets busy and you have toddlers and all those things. And so you also, it all came back. I also struggled with a lot of gut health, some dairy issues, a lot of things that a lot of us struggle with, and just things that were kind of undiagnosed and were not things that I ever really addressed. And so then I started working, and this was just in the last, 5+ years, started working in a natural medicine clinic, was still struggling with my weight, had been on and off for years and years, really started learning about gut health, and was like, oh, I can't really get better. I can't really deal with some of these things that are going on with my weight if I'm never dealing with things that are going on with my body. And so I worked really hard, to be attentive to some of those things. And again, on and off. So over that time, while I'm going there, I'm going to just be all kinds of vulnerable with you all. So get ready. During that time, actually, my husband and I separated, and we were separated for actually several years. And during that time, we were living in 2 places. Our kids were going back and forth. There were all the stress that comes with all of those. So my hormones were just on overdrive. The cortisol was just rushing and crashing and over and over and over again. Happy ending. My husband and I actually did reconcile and have started really like a second marriage together. So that's a side note and a story for another day. But I had all these stress hormones that were just firing all the time. So last December 2020, I went to my annual appointment with my OB. And I was like, I have tried everything. I've tried everything for years. And I was getting really uncomfortably close to a big round number that I was not feeling. And I said, I've been exercising every day. My daughter and I have been exercising together. I've been really watching my food. This was during quarantine, so it was like we weren't going out. We were making food at home all the time. Like, I just could not understand why nothing was working for me. But I had just finally decided that I'd had enough. So we talked about it. We talked about all the stresses. We talked about the hormones. And she said, intermittent fasting might really be a thing that works for you. So I started with intermittent fasting. And I started with, some of you may have seen this. I've talked about my intermittent fasting journey on here before, so I will not bore you with all of it. But it is in here in this group if you are interested in hearing kind of how I do my day, because I'm still doing it now more than a year later. So I started with intermittent fasting, and everything kind of started to regulate, and my blood sugar was getting better, and all of these things were kind of starting to work a little, like the light switch was starting to figure out what to do, right? And then in February or March, I started with our Taka drinks, and then the Glow came out, and then the Trim came out, and I just started adding these things, and I just started doing what my body wanted and what my body needed, and I added those things around my intermittent fasting. and the weight just started coming off. And it was not immediate. And those of you who have been struggling, or you're just at the beginning of trying some of these products and trying modifications in your diet and working on your small baby steps, like, do not give up. If I could tell you one thing, it's do not give up. It took me, like, I was losing and I was losing and I was losing. And then all of a sudden it just went like that. And then I started losing big. And so now I am between 43 and 45 pounds, depending upon the day. That is gone, and it is gone forever. And so in December, I hit a year. And while I would be happy to lose a little bit more weight here and there, I'm ready to turn my journey towards fitness. I haven't been exercising at all. And to really, like, now step into, bringing all of my health in line. So I feel like for maybe the first time in my whole life, I don't think about food all the time. I believe that has everything to do with our drinks. And I just do. It wasn't until those entered my life that I felt like the cravings were gone, and I felt like I had control, and I felt like I didn't have to think about whether the ice cream in the freezer was still there or if I could get it before the kids got it, because that was me. I would lay in bed at night and think, it's still down there. What if the kids eat it? I want it. I should. It's like haunting me, right? And I feel like what these drinks have done for me, and what, in combination with intermittent fasting, which has been what has worked for me, what that's done is just given me this freedom from obsessing about food. And I have learned to listen to my body and to trust my body. And I've learned to like pictures of myself again. And I've learned to walk by that window and not look, because I don't need to look. And when I started this journey, I was looking and I was like, yeah, that girl looks good. And that's good too. That was good too. But I also now feel like I can walk into a room and not think about how I look in comparison with other people. And I think that, yes, some of that has come because of the glow up and the trim down, but some of it is because through this process, I have learned to accept myself. And I've seen so many people around me who've had success and who have been really vulnerable about their journeys too. And I love that. I love that in this group. And I love this glow up trim down that we're doing. And I feel like there are so many of us with stories of how this is working. And for me, the first time in my life that something has really worked, and it has made me feel like I need to step into being the absolute best person that I am. And it's a journey and it's a process, and it is one that I hope for all of you. I hope that you'll ask questions. I hope that you'll reach out. I hope that these things are things that resonate with you. And so really part of what we're doing in this group is just being authentically ourselves and sharing our stories with each other. There's a post, if you haven't seen it, that has gone up each week. So you can start whenever you're ready. You can do whatever makes sense for you. People ask me all the time, what program do you use? And I do intermittent fast, but I don't follow a hard and fast program. I listen to my body. I love our drinks. I take baby steps, and the progress has worked, and it has been tremendous, and I'm grateful. And there's a community here that, although we are not a formalized program and we're not coaches or any of those things, we can be here for each other, and we can share resources, and we can succeed together. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. I hope that was helpful. I hope it's just good to hear from lots of us and kind of where we're coming from. And if I can ever be of help, if anyone is interested in what I do, please know that I'm happy to answer any questions. And anyone who has product questions, you can drop them here. We'll make sure the admins of this page will help you get connected with whoever invited you, so that if you're interested in ordering product, we're happy to do that. But also, don't be afraid to just ask questions. It's okay. We want to meet you where you are. So anyway, I hope everyone has a great night, and talk to you soon. Bye.